And how would you describe your differences?
Very good question. Let's see. Well, let's start first of all with the question of electing Diane Dennish as our next governor in the state of New Mexico, and how I would be able to help her. First issue, one, to get elected, and that's electability. When we start looking at the lieutenant governor that will be able to complement Diane Dennish, we need to look at who has run in a competitive district. I'm the only candidate that has run in a 51% Democratic district, and if anyone's standing up here, I'm the only one that has carried the Democratic platform in such a district. The issue is who's going to be able to help Diane. In fact, when you look at my district, 3 of my most populated counties voted for George Bush and John McCain. I was the #2 target by the Republican Party last year and the petroleum industry, and won by 19%. I bring to the table, one, electability, experience. One that has also worked with Diane on the regional housing project. In fact, we helped write that bill to create affordable housing throughout the state of New Mexico. We've also worked with Diane on education, early childhood programs. These are programs that are near and dear to our hearts. And also to create an economic opportunity for tomorrow, working in the renewable industry. I was a sponsor of RETA, the Renewable Energy Transmission Authority, because without transmission, we are not going to create the jobs of tomorrow in renewable energy. We're going to be able to do new transmissions throughout the state of New Mexico and export this power through Arizona and onto California, creating a multi-billion-dollar opportunity to bring good-paying jobs to our kids and for us in New Mexico. We are exporting 58% of our college graduates today, and this is unacceptable. We need to create a new economy, a new revolutionary economy, and it's going to be green. And that's where Diane and I will work to move New Mexico forward and create a better tomorrow for the common good.
Before Diane Dennish became lieutenant governor, it was a zero position. There wouldn't be 5 people running for this office if Diane Dennish hadn't put some meat on the bare bones of what that job has always been in the past. What she did was to take a very skimpy job description and flesh it out because she had passion about some real crucial issues. She made pre-K the top priority of this administration because she was interested in it. That's why it became a top priority for the administration. She made payday lending reform. She made mortgage finance reform. And she made positive youth development programming high priorities because she had passion. That's not in her job description. She just did it. And the difference between her and her predecessor, who was, incidentally, Walter Bradley, 8 years lieutenant governor, vanished without a trace. Diane now will be the first lieutenant governor ever to move into the governorship by election. What I share with her is passion about some issues. And I've asked her if she would see that kind of role for lieutenant governor continuing. That is, that the role would become something more than just presiding over the Senate, filling in when the governor's out of state. It becomes really a voice of advocacy within the administration for issues that need to be brought together with legislators, community leaders, people who are advocating for them, all coming together on those issues. And what I would like to take the lead on, if I were the lieutenant governor, would be reforming the behavioral health system, which is in shambles right now, and we need to address that. I would like to take the lead in regard to the dropout rate, when almost 50% of our kids are leaving high school without graduating. There needs to be some real attention paid to it. I would like to take the lead in affordable housing. We don't have enough housing for our working class families, and as a result, the number of homeless families have nowhere to move into housing that becomes available. Thank you very much.
Let me tell you a little story. It was a decade ago, and I had just started law school, and I had never been involved. I've been a great Democrat my whole life. And part of, for me, being a great Democrat was supporting Democrats, period. Right? And that also meant that I didn't ever want to make the hard decision to have to work in a primary, because that meant that at least one Democrat wasn't going to be happy with me. So if you go back and roll the clock very, very tough race between Lieutenant Governor Diane Dennis and Senator Sandell. And I had some good friends up in San Juan County who to this day still remind me each and every day that I supported Diane Dennis. But the good news is, those folks are voting for her for governor come November of this year. That's the good news. So I have a long history with Diane Dennis. The reason that she earned my support in that primary is because she was a phenomenal chair of the Democratic Party of New Mexico. She truly understood that there was a rural New Mexico and an urban New Mexico. She understood that per federal guidelines, 32 of our 33 counties qualify as rural. She understood that the Rio Grande corridor was critical for our state's success, but that most of New Mexico is not on the Rio Grande corridor. She knew that every New Mexican mattered, whether it had a high concentration of Democrats or a low concentration of Democrats. When I went to Catron County 3 times as chair, I got to see all 3 Democrats all 3 times. That's like 9 Democrats. It's awesome. That's where Diane Dennis, our next governor, and I see eye to eye. Where we're a little different, which is I think the question was, is I might be a little more energized when it comes to speaking in front of people. You got to relax, she said. Be calm, be collect. What you see is what you get. I'm very excited. I'm humbled to be in this race. I am living my dream.